Brown County District Attorney says he's stepping back from reviewing election complaints involving Elon Musk, brought in an outside prosecutor to take over. DA David Lissay says the Wisconsin Elections Commission notified his office last month that it was referring two complaints against Musk. After an initial review, Lissay says he determined his office has a conflict of interest and asked for a special prosecutor. La Crosse County District Attorney Tim Grunke now has been appointed to that, and he will review the case. The referral follows a WEC commission vote finding probable cause that Musk violated the state's election bribery law with a social media offer of $1 million awards tied to the 2025 state Supreme Court race. The key question now is whether the special prosecutor will file any criminal charges.